All right, we're joined now by the Utah Utes, head coach Gavin Peterson, student athletes Kennedy McQueen and Gianna Neepkins. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Yeah, hats off to Indiana. Really good game, really hard-fought battle, tied at halftime. They took advantage in that third quarter, and we just weren't able to push through in that fourth quarter. But extremely proud of our team, not only for this season and what we have accomplished, but our graduating senior class and the legacy that they have left. A scoreboard for one game is not going to define their success and how much they have impacted our program at Utah. So I am just forever indebted to this group, this team, the collection of all these young women that, lead the way by being great role models, great examples. My daughter's here, Brooklyn, but as well as my daughter at home, Brea. They have great role models to look up to, and I am forever indebted to them for that. So one game will not rain on my parade, even though I hate losing more than I like winning. But I'm going to focus on the positive, and these two sitting next to me are part of that positive.
Opening up for questions just for the student athletes at this time. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Let's start here in the front and swing over to Pete.
For either of you, Indiana kind of got out and made that really strong push in the third quarter. I mean, what is it that you guys saw that kind of allowed that for them to have that success at the start of the second half?
Kennedy, would you take that first, please?
Yeah, I think they came out aggressive. I think they were getting to the paint a little bit more than we were, just being the more aggressive team there for a bit in the third quarter. And then, like you said, we started fighting back the second half of the third quarter, but I think we just dug too big of a hole to start that.
Gianna?
Yeah, it's hard to know right this second what exactly basketball-wise. I think they were getting a little bit easier looks than us, and so they were falling a little better. But, I mean, yeah, we tried to make a run back in the fourth. It got pretty close, I think. But, yeah, I think just their aggressiveness, like Kennedy said.
Pete? Behind you. Right behind you.
Gianna, that last stretch in the second quarter where they came back and tied it up right before, how critical was that to, giving them a springboard in that third quarter?
Yeah, I think that probably helped giving them some momentum going into halftime. But basketball is a game of runs. Theirs just happened to be a little bit bigger than ours tonight.
Other questions from the student athletes? Go here in the second row.
Hey, this is for either of you. Obviously, congratulations on a great season. This being, you guys have been here for so long. What does this program mean to you? Is there anything specific that happened today that was, maybe a culminating moment?
Gianna, would you take that first?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a hard question just because I came in with Nesh and Jenna, and Ken was here the year before, but those girls mean everything to me. They're my best friends, and so I'm just grateful. I have had the past 4 years to play with them, and yeah, it's going to be weird knowing that we don't play basketball again together, but I know that they'll hear from me, and I know I'll hear from them no matter where we go in our next with their next steps of life. So I'm grateful the relationships that I've built.
Kennedy?
Yeah, I think the program just means everything to me. I mean, this was my dream all growing up, to be in this spot right here with Utah across the front of my jersey. And then just to get along, to do it with these type of people like Gianna and my senior class that's with me, and then us collective as a whole. I mean, truly, like, she nailed it. Like, they're my best friends, and so it's just been awesome. Our conversations off the court, just beyond basketball, have just been incredible here. The staff at Utah is incredible. Support staff. I mean, everybody just really supports women's basketball at the University of Utah, and I think when that happens and you bring in a great group of people and you can do things like this and be consecutive at it for the past 4 years. So, yeah, it's just meant everything.
Any other questions for student athletes? Pete?
Yeah, John, a little positive note. That 4-point play, there aren't too many of them in the NCAA tournament. Do you feel like, I put together something special there?
Um, I don't. It was a good play. I was just hopefully using that as some momentum, and I think it did because we cut the lead to like 4, I think. So, yeah, I guess that's a positive.
Anything else for student athletes? Good. Take one more.
Specifically for Gianna, obviously you come back, you didn't have a full season last year, you had a full season this year. Anything different about that? Anything that you were able to instill in your teammates that was able to springboard your team to a very successful season this year?
Honestly, just looking back, I'm just grateful that I got the opportunity to play one full healthy season with these girls again. It was hard, obviously. Season-ending injuries are tough, but I think I just have to take a moment to realize how grateful I am for CJ, Lindsay getting me back, and then my coaches and teammates supporting me and getting me back where I was. So, yeah, I'm just grateful in this hard moment.
All right, we'll let the student athletes go at this time.
Thank you.
The locker room does remain open for another 10 minutes or so. And we'll open up for questions for Coach Peterson. We'll start here in the front.
Coach, these are two teams that really like to shoot threes. You took some late trying to get back in it. They only took 17. You took 30-something, but most of those were late when you were down double digits. Why do you think that is? The two teams that like to shoot and make a lot of threes went inside a lot today instead. Was that strategic?
I think for them, they did a great job in that third quarter getting downhill, getting to the paint, getting some high percentage shots. We had some miscommunication on defense on a few possessions and gave them some, open looks. But yeah, I think, we were trying to emphasize getting the ball inside. We got Maye going there late, but we just needed a little bit more inside presence, and we could have played a little bit more inside out and maybe got 8 more clean look threes. But it's just that's kind of the way it goes. And credit to them, their third quarter were. And even in the fourth quarter, to put the game away, they were taking some mid-range jump shots that, were contested, and they made them. So I think that's part of basketball. You kind of got to take what the defense gives you, and we were trying to protect the three-point line, as they were as well. But, we got up a lot more. And that's been our bread and butter all season long. So we weren't going to run away or shy away from that.
Second row.
Gavin, this is kind of a similar question, but when you look at it on paper, Indiana and Utah are very similar teams. Is it kind of difficult preparing for the opponent in that way, considering, or is it maybe difficult or easier preparing for the opponent, considering, they are so similar to how you play in a way?
Kind of a little bit of both. To be honest, I think it's. I guess you can gain confidence because you see it every day in our drills and practice, so we know what it takes to be able to get some really good looks from 3. I think the physicality component sometimes we can't duplicate in practice, so that kind of takes a period of getting used to, but they do a tremendous job of executing, and by that I mean they're patient, they wait for screens, they set them up, they use them, and they really caused us to have some mishaps on the defensive end. And that's the difference of the game. And when you're playing in March, it just takes a few possessions and a team goes on a big run. And then it's kind of hard to stop. And our players alluded to, we spent a lot of energy clawing back and coming back. And then we just kind of ran out of time. I know we cut it to 4. I'm going to kick myself for not calling a timeout, but at the same time, I thought we could get a 3 off in transition, and I didn't want them to set up their defense. But that's something I got to live with.
Go in the third row.
Coach, overall, I would say that you've had a pretty successful first year as head coach.
Thank you.
What moments or memories will you cherish for the rest of your lives in this new chapter?
All of it. I'm just humbled and honored to be able to lead that locker room. I think you have lifelong bonds that would never go away. And that's what I'm most thankful for.
Pete?
Gavin, I was going to ask something along the similar lines. You talked about it yesterday, the pride that this team could have said, you know what, I didn't sign up for this, so
Yep.
we don't have to do this. And now you've got a springboard, I would imagine, in order to keep the program at the level it's been and go beyond that the next few years.
Yeah, that's the plan. Our coaching staff is going to strive hard to live up to the new standard which we've established. It's not going to be easy, but we welcome that. We're going to roll up our sleeves. Our player development is second to none. We take pride in that, and we're going to hit the off season with those returning and our newcomers coming into our program. So yeah, we are. I want to give this group something in 5 years to come back to, and hopefully we're hosting. And it's just something that they can continue to be proud of, and that's just my charge, in charge of this program. We have all the assistants from our administration that have been so great to me and our program that, we're going to take what they give us and we're going to run with it. And our charge is we're going to be here to stay.
Let's go to the second row.
Coach, obviously this being the culmination of your first season as a head coach, how did you and your players respond to this adversity with you being first-time head coach in an NCAA tournament game?
They hit it in stride. Again, it's the expectation now, which is so cool to see because, in year one we're playing in front of 600 people. Now we're playing in front of 6,000. We're going to the NIT 3 years in a row. Now we're going to the NCAA tournament 4 times in a row. So it's the new expectation, but that's what drives them in the off season. That's what drives them in practice. So we didn't skip a beat in that regard. Now the season was challenging because it was new to them and how we handled adversity in terms of losses. We still didn't lose more than 2 games in a row all season long. And that's a credit to their resiliency and their just commitment to each other and our program. And I'm extremely proud of that. We never let adversity get us off of the next task at hand. And that's something that's a life lesson, man. Life's going to knock you down, dust yourself up, and get back to work. And this crew leads that way, and they live that way. So they're winners in my book.
Anything else for Coach Peterson? Got one more? Go ahead.
With your relationship with Gianna, obviously her being a leader on this team, coming back, being a full season with this, anything that happened, pregame, postgame that you're going to remember from this run?
Say that one more time.
Anything specific or any interactions from you and Gianna from either pregame, halftime, postgame that you're going to remember as she goes on?
No, somebody asked her a question about the 4-point play. I can tell you the competitor in her, she's like, I missed 1 free throw. Like, that's what she's focused on. And that's, and we have a lot of similarities in that regard. We focus on what we did wrong. And it might be a small glimpse. It might be outweighed 20-1, but we'll dwell on that one. And I think that's why I think we have a connection. And that's what makes her so good, though. She will not rest until, if there was an open gym, she'd probably go shoot free throws, to be honest. But that's the competitive fire and that nature that I love about her and how that feeds off into our program. So, she's just an ultimate competitor. So, love every one of those kids in that locker room.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys all. Thank you.